Hello, welcome to the lecturer's desk. Get your medical thoughts cleared before you leave. And please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell.
Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mike. You can call me Mike. Today we are going to talk about coronary circulation. And talk of coronary circulation, what is it? It is circulation of blood through the coronary arteries, which supply food, nutrients, and oxygen to the cardiac muscle. You understand? And then when talk of this circulation, how does it happen? We are going into detail each process or how the pathway through which the blood moves to the myocardium. Now, I would like to introduce certain things to you so that when I reach there and I'm pronouncing them, you'll be familiar with them. I have two colors of marker over here. I have the red, I have the blue, and then I have the green. Now, the red actually represents the arteries. You understand? The red represents the arteries. The blue represents the veins, and then the green represents the myocardium. The myocardium. So when I read there, you will be able to know that this is a myocardium, this is an artery, this is a vein, and other stuffs. Now, let's start with it. When there's systemic circulation. The systemic circulation is where the left ventricle pumps blood to all parts of the body. And as all parts of the body receive blood, the heart itself must also receive blood, so that it can get energy to do that pumping of the blood. Now, let's start. So the coronary circulation actually starts from the left ventricle. So the left ventricle will contract and then pump the blood, and this process we call the systole. The contraction we call the systole. In the systole, there's pumping of blood through the aortic semilunar valve, and then to the ascending aorta. The ascending aorta, that's the AA, to the aortic arch, to the superior side of the body, to the descending aorta, to the inferior side of the body. And one thing is, if you take the ascending aorta has two small arteries. These are called the coronary arteries. They are left and then the right arteries. So one thing is, when there's systole, other tissues get their oxygen supply through their blood flow. And then when there's diastole, that is where we start the coronary circulation. One will ask, why is it that in other part of the tissues it happens in the systole and this one happens in diastole? The reason is, when you take these arteries, they are found in the heart itself. You understand that the cardiac muscles, and when the heart contracts, you understand, they also contract and the diameter decreases, and because of that doesn't permit the movement of the blood to the myocardium. So what happens is, when the heart is relaxing, which is in the diastole, they also opens up, and then when they open up, it will create space, or give them free space, so that they will flow of blood to the myocardium. Do you understand? Now, so from the left ventricle, we get to the semilunar aortic semilunar artery, and then in the ascending aorta, we find the left and then the right. Let's take them one after the other. When you take the right coronary artery, the right coronary artery gets two branches, give rise to two branches, and these branches are the right marginal artery and then the posterior descending artery. The posterior descending artery has another name, which is also called the posterior interventricular artery. Do you understand? And this artery will move to the myocardium. And which part of the myocardium? The posterior wall of the right and then the left ventricle. And then it will supply the oxygen at the capillaries of these arteries. Do you understand? So the capillaries of this artery, they will be supplying of oxygen. And then the carbon dioxide will diffuse into the blood. Because when oxygen leaves the blood, what happens? The blood becomes deoxygenated. And you know deoxygenated blood are being carried by the vein. So the deoxygenated blood from this artery will be carried out by the middle cardiac vein. So the middle cardiac vein will send it into the what? Coronary sinus. And remember from what our first video, the coronary sinus bring what? Blood into the right atrium. So the coronary sinus, when it gets this blood, it will send it into the right atrium. So the right atrium will also what? Undergo what? The pulmonary what? Circulation to fill the blood what? With oxygen. Now let's go to what? The second artery. We have the right marginal artery. The right marginal artery also moves to the myocardium. So in the myocardium, which part of the myocardium? We have what? The left lateral wall of the right ventricle. So the lateral wall of the right ventricle is where this artery supply what? Oxygen. So after the supplying of oxygen, the deoxygenated blood will move to the coronary what? Sinus through the small cardiac vein. So that's what the SCV, the small cardiac vein. Now, so in the small cardiac vein, we get to the coronary sinus and then move to the what? The blood to the right artery. Now, this is for the right side. Let's go to the left side. The left side, we have what? The left coronary artery. The left coronary artery gives branches of what? Two arteries. And these are what? The anterior descending artery, and it's also called the anterior interventricular artery. Do you understand? This and that, they are opposite. This is anterior, this is what? Posterior. Now, this also moves to the what? Supply what? The myocardium with what? Blood. And which part of the myocardium? We have what? The anterior wall of the right and then the left ventricle. And then the anterior interventricular septum. They are opposite to this one. So we should remember that. Now, after the supply of what? Oxygen. You understand? There's what? There will be what? Deoxygenated blood will move to the coronary sinus through the great cardiac vein. So the great cardiac vein will take the blood from the anterior descending aorta. You understand? And then it will send it back to the coronary sinus, and then the process will continue. Now, let's come to the circumflex artery. The circumflex artery will also move to the myocardium and then supply what? Oxygen and the food nutrient. Which part of the myocardium? The left atrium and then the posterior lateral wall of what? Of the left ventricle. And then it will supply what? The oxygen and then the food nutrient over there. And then the deoxygenated blood will get to what? To the coronary sinus through the posterior ventricular vein. And then we get to the coronary sinus. And then the coronary sinus will bring what? All the deoxygenated blood back to the right atrium. So the right atrium will also what? Move it through the tricuspid valve to the right ventricle, and then the right ventricle will send it through the pulmonary trunk to the pulmonary arteries and then to the lungs. And then the lungs will fill it with what? With oxygen. When it's filled with oxygen, it will move back through the pulmonary veins to the left atrium, and the left atrium it will get to the what? To the left ventricle, and then the process what? Will continue again. So that is how the circulation what is being done. But please, let's look at something here. We have the right marginal artery. Sometimes we confuse ourselves and then we only say marginal arteries. Marginal artery is not only one. We have two marginal arteries in this circulation. We have the right and then the left marginal artery. So when you say marginal artery, give the full name, which is what? The right or the left. If you take the circumflex artery give right to what? One artery. Do you understand? A certain branch of an artery, which is called what? The left marginal artery. And then the left marginal artery will supply what? The lateral wall of what? Of the left ventricle. As this one is supplying what? The lateral wall of the right ventricle. Do you understand? So if you are talking about the marginal artery, give the full name of it so that you don't get it wrong in your exams or anything. Now, let's come to what? To this. You see, if there is what? A blockage of these arteries, the part of the myocardium in which that artery supply what? Blood will be what? Affected. So imagine there's blockage of the right marginal artery. You know, the lateral wall of the what? Of the right ventricle will be what? Affected. Do you understand? So we should what? Know each artery and where it supply what? The type of the part of the myocardium in which it supply what? Oxygen. So that when the question is being given to you or when you meet anything like that, you'll be able to know that this artery is what is affected, and this artery is what is not what affected. Now let's look at something here. Amongst these four main arteries of the coronary arteries, we have one that is very susceptible to what? To the blockage. You understand? And that is the anterior descending what? Artery. Why is that the anterior descending artery is the one that is easy to get what? Blocked if there's what? Plaque formation. This artery, among the four, it has small diameter. That one has small diameter. Let's say this diameter is like this, and then the rest are like this. Do you understand? So this diameter, if there's a plaque formation, it is easy to what? To block the artery over here. It is easy to block the artery. Unlike this one, if there's a plaque formation, this one doesn't get blocked easy, but this one get blocked easy. That's the anterior descending artery, and because of that, is the part of what? Of the artery that easy get what? Heart. If there's heart failure, this is one of the arteries that we check first, because it's the one that can easily what? Get what? Blocked, or the angina. And if there is what? Angina, and then we don't treat it early and then it persists, it will increase or causes the cells over there to die, and then it will lead the person into what? To infarction. Do you understand? So if you take this artery and there's what? A blockage, you understand? This part of the myocardium gets affected. You understand? So take note of that one. And also, if any part of the myocardium is affected, look at that particular artery that supply what? Oxygen and the food nutrient to that myocardium, and then you know the part of what? The artery that has what? Gotten what? Affected, and then you get what? You treat it with what? Any medications, that's what you want. So basically, this brings us to the end of what? Today's lesson, which is what? The coronary what? Circulation. If you find this lecture or this class useful, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and then recommend it to a friend, so that it can boost our energy to bring you what? More content concerning what? Medicine. See you in our next video. Thank you.